not sure if your mics are on. If you can chat to us. All right, so welcome, folks. So I believe you're interested in our MBA. So thanks for joining us today. So I just want to talk to you folks a little bit about our MBA and one of the key issues on why people are doing it and what are the things you're looking for out of it as well. So I just wanted to find out if any of you can chat to me. If any of you if you can chat, if your mics are on. Or if you'd like to, you can type in the questions and answers as well. All right, so welcome everybody. So just to talk to you a little bit about the MBA and why it's important to look at doing and what's the differentiator in the Regenesis MBA. So I've been involved in also assisting or working with the MBA Regenesis for about 15 years already and more. And one of the real issues is what is the real need for an MBA? So if we can just chat about that, I've got some comments here. Okay, so you don't have a mic, it's fine. Please type here and I will respond as well. So really, folks, so if you think about where the MBA started and what's the need for it today is years ago, large universities saw there was a need for taking specialists from different schools, like maybe engineering, even general business, medicine, a whole lot of different disciplines, and then making sure that they understood how to run the business and how to organize, how to plan, how to lead, how to control. And they started to look at more a role for senior managers to upper managers to from general to board managers and also entry level as well coming in to the company. So it really is about the growth and development of careers and the growth and development of where you want to take your careers. So this is what the MBA is about. It's about taking a specialist and giving them generalist skills, but also in depth, and giving them the ability to be able to holistically look at the business from an operations point of view, from a finance point of view, from a supply chain point of view, from marketing to logistics to all the different departments. So it's an integrated approach. And also one of the big differentiators is Regenesis is they focus a lot on a holistic model where they look at all your intelligences. So they look at things like your IQ. What is your IQ? What is your mental age of your chronological age? But it's not just that. You can be very intellectually clever, but it's about your emotional intelligence. How do you deal with your emotions? How do you look at how do you guide teams? How do you guide? So it looks at different intelligences, and then eventually it looks at SQ, which is your spiritual intelligence, or it's about your purpose. And one of the issues is at the end of the course, it's really to make sure that people have got a purpose. What do you want to do as an organization? Where do you want to go as an organization? And how do you want to lead people? And I think this is where the passion comes out. And you see a lot of successful companies that have emerged like that, where the people have got the purpose. They're able to share the higher purpose of the company with the people. And if you look at typical examples, Apple is one of the most profitable companies. Although it's small, it's one of the most profitable. And Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who started it, had this passion. And they had this vision about let's start a company. And Steve Jobs was saying, because he was a rebel at that stage, and they didn't want to go to Vietnam and America, and they rebelled against the regime. And one of his issues was to say, I want to give people information and I want to give it to them so it's easy to use, it's streamlined, it's integrated, and I want people to have this ease of use. And Steve Wozniak, who designed Apple, and Steve Jobs, who was really the driver of the company, made sure that their purpose was there. And they never lost the purpose of simplicity, the look. Steve Jobs was passionate about even the color white that he used. And he said, we don't have customers, we have disciples. We don't have Apple stores, we've got like churches. And he believed it was like a corporate religion. So for him, his purpose was to be able to give people the ability to have that data, have that experience, have everything interlinked. And then, of course, he said he wanted to make them so that they looked so good you would want to eat them. So if you don't have that passion, this is really what the Regenesis MBA focuses on. It's about making sure that when you leave, you've got an integrated view of all the subjects. So you'll find when you're coming in from different degrees, you'll start off and you'll go into your business subjects. So you'll go into subjects like your business management, understanding how the business works. Then looking at strategic management. So how do we look at different strategies? And not only in corporate, it could be innovation, it could be anywhere. How do we understand strategy? And how do we craft strategy? Then it links, and this is the big benefit of the MBA. It's like a system. All the subjects interlink. So then you'll also learn about operations and how do we link our operation strategy of property, plant, and equipment. How do we link that into our final strategy? How do we integrate it? But then you also learn subjects like economics. And in there, you learn about what are the macro factors affecting us, your political, economical, environmental, ecological, social, technological, legal, international. So you learn about those, and then you learn about all the issues around economics, the demand, the supply. How do the markets integrate? How do buyers affect us? How do substitutes affect us? How do suppliers affect us? How do we create barriers to entry in the market? And who are we competing with? So know your business. And then we come on to like your strategies, your structures, the style of leadership, the style of management, your culture, your systems, your structures, and your core values in the middle. And that is one of the things we focus on is understanding your core values. And that's one of the big differentiators. You can have an organization or you can have somebody who knows all the subjects. But unless you've got the passion and the purpose for it, it doesn't follow through. And you look at all the top leaders like Bill Gates, when he started Microsoft, him and Paul Allen. Bill Gates had the passion. He wanted to bring out his innovation. He didn't create DOS. He bought it. But he was excellent at knowing what he wants to do. He wants to become a leader in technology. And he wants to have people that are surrounding that are also passionate about technology. And you can see this in all companies, where you've got Senge and his best mate that started Google. Started as they were doing PhDs in maths and they just started linking up hard drives and started looking on the internet and they found out that Yahoo and Lycos and all of those search engines weren't so fantastic. So they created their own and called it Google. And basically what happened is it's about the passion. And I think this is what drives the people in the MBA. And I've noticed it over the years. Our students have gone far in companies. Our students have also delivered passion. And a lot of them have created their own companies. And one of the things is it's about coming in and you're going to be integrating subjects, but you've got to align that to where you want to go, what's your passion. So you'll be learning things about business management, about strategy. How do you craft strategy? What are different strategies? And learn from other industries. So don't just learn from business, learn from what other people are doing. So, what are people doing in criminal activities? What are people doing in other businesses? What other strategies are available? And learn from other fields. What strategies are there? And learn from companies. And then you also, with your economics, learning about how to understand how the macroeconomy around us affects our market, our market, and how that affects our organization. And then you'll also learn things around finance. And that's critical because how do you finance your strategy? How do you finance your assets? How do you read financial statements? How do you interpret financial statements? But the big thing with an MBA is not only being able to interpret it, it's about linking that to the business. What does that mean for the business? And that's where you start to integrate now. And then you start to learn about strategic marketing. How do we now? Now we know my strategy. I know the environment around me. I know my environment. Now, how do I market all of this? What is my strategic marketing approach? What is my marketing plan? And how am I going to implement it? And then, of course, we talk about the fifth industrial revolution. We've got folks that are working with digital strategies. We've got automation. We've got the Internet of Things. We've got AI. We've got DeepMind. So we're coming up with a different way of working. We're living in a different world. We've got people that are implanting chips in themselves, becoming cyborgs. So we've got to adapt. And that's why even at Regenesis, we've got a company there called Digital Regenesis, where we've got everybody there's got PhDs in certain specialist fields. So we look at things like cybersecurity. They look at things like programming AI, all the latest technologies. And in MBA, you also have a lot of those folks lecturing you that are experts that come from that field. So the benefit is you're looking at it holistically. And then then you've got to look at yourself as a leader, comport yourself. Where are your values? What do you want to be? Do you know yourself? So you will be doing a lot of courses around or introduction courses or going through things like emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, different intelligences to be able to get you to lead more effectively, to be able to get you to be able to work with people, to be able to understand cultures, organizational cultures, and how to create them, and how to work in different scenarios. So, those are key issues that a business needs, and you can see it gets more and more integrated. And then you start having to bring in HR, and you do strategic human resources. But then you also look at how they align to the organization values, their purpose. And this is what, for example, you'll notice 3M practice. So 3M, there's a book written about about them as well, and it was written by Collins and Porras, which is a book called Built to Last. And if you want to read a good book, you can look at that. And then they wrote a book called Beyond Built to Last. And they look at great companies, and then they look at good companies. And there's a big difference. A great company, and they use an excellent approach to differentiating them. And they said a good company is a company that teaches you how to tell the time. But a great company is a company that lets you build the clock. So you know how to build the clock. In other words, they're saying you have core values. You know your core values. What does this company core value? And in 3M, it's Minnesota Mining Company. they bought that company and the ore was too low grade. So they said, okay, well, it's not a failure. And that's the thing with MBAs. You need to look at things and say, okay, we haven't failed. What have we learned from this? So we've learned that this ore is too low grade. We can't use it. Now, and this is where your MBA thinking comes in. Can you look at innovation, which is one of your subjects? Can you look at the operations? Can you integrate that with creative thinking? Can you integrate that with finance? Can you integrate it with logistics and supply chain? Can you bring in teams from multiple ways and look at it differently? And change the paradigm from failing to looking at what can we do to succeed. And in that, what they did is they decided, well, okay, we've got this all, so what can I do with it? Then they brainstormed and thought about it and got people to think out the box, which is really what MBAs, and this is what this MBA focuses to do, is to get you to think differently. Think out the box. And it's about what 3M did. So then they decided, okay, we'll make sandpaper. That's great. So sandpaper worked. Then they made a strong glue, a super strong glue. They got an order from a mine to make a super strong glue that they could use on rocks and in the mine. And it failed. So with all their great successes, they also have failures. So what they did, it failed. And in that failure, what happened? One of the lab, the scientist was walking around and some of the glue had fallen on the floor. And he stood on it and he saw it sticks, but it doesn't stick. And then he started thinking about, okay, so what can I do? And this is the question, is to ask yourself all the time. And that's what this MBA teaches you. What can we do differently? How can I use the subjects that I've learned? How can I use this approach to create a different view or to create new products or to be more innovative? And what he did then, he used this scientist sang in a church choir. And he used to have pieces of paper that he stuck in and that he put in as bookmarks. And they would come out. And then what he started to do is he started to put some of that glue behind the little bookmarks. And he found out that he could put it in, but he could pull it off and it wouldn't stick. It was sticky, but it wouldn't tear his pages. And eventually he created little blocks of paper, put them together with the glue and sent them around. And today, everybody uses that product. And that is Post-it pads. And then the board, he had to present his idea to the board and they let him run his company. So, we've got leaders out there and we've got leaders at Regenesis that have done our MBA from various disciplines. And they've gone out and either created new companies, made a difference to companies. We've got students, thousands and thousands of students all over the world that have been through Regenesis over the years. In fact, our company was founded by Dr. Marco Saravanya, who actually started off as a monk. And 3 partners got together, him, Dr. Penny Law, Dr. Vivian, William, and they decided they're going to create an institution where they want to change the way people think about things, change lives, change the way. So it's not just education, it becomes holistic education. It becomes a way you live it. And from then, it's just grown to over $1 billion company in South Africa alone. So it's always growing, setting up new universities, setting up new in different countries all over the world. So I think this is one of the issues and why, you need to do the MBA, because you're going to do a lot of subjects. You're going to do multitude of subjects, from finance to operations to supply chain to management to economics to finance to a whole lot of to emotional intelligences, to all your intelligences, your spiritual intelligence, your purposes. You'll be having a lot of leadership. So it's really to get you ready. So when you leave, you can think differently. You can act differently. You can be different. And often students say to me at the last lecture, like, I can see in the company, I can think more holistically. I can come up and understand how the subjects integrate. I can make a difference, whether it's in a company, whether it's in NGO. We've had folks from Department of Justice. We've had folks from nearly everywhere. We've had ministers on there. We've had folks, top folks from all countries. And because we've got so many branches, we've also got a lot of access to experts in a whole lot of different industries and leading edge, which is why they've just started a university of AI now as well. So we deal with folks from all countries. We are in many, many countries with thousands and thousands of alumni who are doing excellent work in many countries in different fields. We also have a public school. We also do the BBAs. We also have higher certificates. So we've got a school of business. We've got school of law. We've got school of education. We've got the public school. And we've got various other schools on the newest technology. And, with Regenesis, we have alumni that work with us for years. And Regenesis has got a long history. And I think that's one of the real issues that really differentiate us. And why should you do that MBA? Because it will eventually give you an edge where you can come in and think differently. You can come in and you can look at the company from different angles. And you can come with unique solutions. And learning from what successful companies have done, learning what people have done that have failed. And that's why you've got to think about, why are great leaders leaders? What makes somebody like Richard Branson? What makes somebody like Steve Jobs? What makes somebody like Bill Gates? What makes somebody like Mandela? Well, how do those people get there? What is their philosophy? What is their purpose? And when you go back, you'll see all of them had that spiritual intelligence of focus, of what is my purpose, and hiring people that share their purpose. And that's really, and one of the benefits is you'll always have access as alumni. They have a lot of events, like we have events today. And, the events are basically around getting experts in and getting people to debate things, having some of our past alumni in as well, looking at unpacking current issues, looking at unpacking how do we continually change the way what we teach, because we have to keep abreast of everything. So we talk about digital strategies. We look at AI. We look at what you can do. In fact, our School of Digital Regenesis, they already are creating bots. They're already creating automation. They're already going into teaching people how to program, create AI. So we always stay ahead of the curve. And that's what I believe really makes us differentiated. And you will also get a lot of support. If you need answers or you need questions, lecturers are available for you to email them. We have got a good portal where stuff is posted. You get your study guides, which are detailed. You get recordings from the teams. You get discussions, and those are the kind of issues. And that's really what we really want to inspire in you folks. So I don't know if there are any questions from you folks. If you'd like to type some questions, and maybe if you need somebody to contact you, you can put your number on here, and we can have some folks contact you if you've got some more questions. I don't know if anybody would like to comment on this. If you folks would like to chat. So typically you will finish this degree in about 3 years, because you'll have your dissertation and that. So each subject, we have subjects that are run like twice a year. We have two sessions, or so we got 2 exam sessions. So generally they would take 6 months each for the subjects, and you know you don't have to worry. You get a lot of support on the subject, so you don't have to worry like, oh, I've never done finance, Leonard. So you don't have to worry about that. Like, oh, I'm coming in and I'm going to be scared of failing because I haven't. I come from a different background, and we have that. But the notes and the support will be there. There's team teams lectures. Some of the lectures are face to face now again, but there will be support. If you get stuck, there's always help there. So don't feel stuck. Um, there will be support there for you. If necessary, there are a lot of lecturers, and the majority of all the lecturers have done doctorates in certain fields and that, and specialists in those fields. So it's not the kind of course you're going to come on and feel lost on, and that. And one of the value adds is when you do your dissertation, it'll be done on practical issues on what maybe your company. It'll be on solving problems, and it's something that you can add value to. Walk away and say, I have made a difference through my study. I have made a difference through it. So, thanks, Leonard. I hope that's answered your question there. If you want, if you leave your number or your email, whatever, I can ask the events coordinators, or we can ask them to send it to you, and they can send you more information. Or if you've got any more questions, we can please send that question to us, and we can answer you with that. So thank you, Leonard, for the question. Any other questions from you folks? Any other comments there? So are you folks ready for the challenge? And are you ready to make a difference with your MBA in a company, in society? You can be in NGOs. It doesn't matter, because MBA you can use everywhere. And that's the nice thing of an MBA. All right, so you've already given them the email. You've been in contact with them. Leonard, so thank you. So, Leonard, hopefully we'll see you folks on the MBA. And I lecture quite a few subjects there as well. I've been lecturing for MBAs for about 30 years, and they're doing consulting in industry as well. And with Genesis also, we've got a corporate education division. So we work a lot with big corporates, giving them solutions. Often we have companies who actually put all their people on a course, on a BBA or MBA, and then they look at doing it as a company for large companies or whatever. And so typically we can send you all, Irene, we can send you, if you put your name there, if you put your email or whatever, we can send you all the detail, because there are different options you can do. We can send you all the information on it. So please just put your email or send the email there. If you got the email there, so okay, yeah, just stick your email there, and we'll ask folks to send you some more information there. All right, and then just where there are different models you can enroll. So classes typically are online on Teams. There are some classes that are face to face, but we also have a Teams option for that as well, because we know a lot of folks. You see, we got a lot of folks from all over the world. So we've got folks from Nigeria, from Kenya, from all over the world. So so we can't always have classes, because we got folks from all over South Africa, from all over the world joining us. So we try to, it's very diverse. And the nice thing is with Teams and things like that is the folks interact and they learn from each other. And it's a very good learning experience, because you learn from people who grew in different countries, like in America, we're there as well. And you learn from different companies, and it's debates, and you can learn from different cultures. So just please put your emails down here as well. And then, folks, one of the real issues is, I think this is the real challenge is to grow yourself and to prepare yourself so that you can look at the new challenges differently. We're coming into a new world. We're living in the fifth industrial revolution. We got robotics taking over, AI taking over. We've got to be ahead of that. If we're not going to be ahead of that, we're going to be left behind. So I think I'm going to leave you folks with that. If there are any more questions, please put it in the chat, folks. Are there any other questions? And Beatrice, if I can just ask you, from events, if you can come on, please.
I'm here. Doctor.
Okay, so great. Okay, so if the folks have left their emails there for you, okay, so if you can just
so I see.
And then just make sure you send all the folks the info. And folks, so thank you for joining us, and hopefully we will see you on the MBA. And then hopefully we'll hear about you in the newspaper and on the news. All right, thank you. Thank you, folks, for attending. Thank you for joining. All right, from events, would you like to say something?
Well, let me take the opportunity, Dr. Dennis, to thank you, honestly, for that amazing, insightful presentation. And thank you, Irene and Ishmael and Leonard, for joining us this morning. I will be connecting with you. Please reach out if you need any assistance regarding your application. My email address is beatriceK@regenesis.net. It's been lovely having you, and I've enjoyed the presentation, Dr. Dennis. Thank you.
You want to maybe just type your email and contacts on the chat page, so folks can have it as well.
Do that.
Okay, excellent.
Beatrice. Okay.
And then please feel free to reach out. There's no question that is dumb or anything. Don't worry about that. We'll give you, the support you need. If you feel uncertain or scared or whatever, there are different financing models at Regenesis as well, so you can speak to Beatrice. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And we hope we'll see you on our next intake.